Two-Way Talk podcast with Mensa and Bully. Join the boys as they discuss all the tri-state sports. Knicks, Yankees, Mets, Jets, NBA, NCAA, and more. The boys will also dive into local news and everything that matters to you. The Two-Way podcast presented by Project Arc is your home for everything from sports, the culture, local news, and everything in between. Always be sure to follow Project Arc for more updates.
Like Cat is a number two. Like if he was better, he would be the number one. If he was more consistent, he would be the number one. But I think like the problem is he has that price tag on him. But at the end of the day, like in your opinion, like where does he rank like in terms of like number twos, like at least amongst like the contenders? So like I'm just gonna list like the Thunder. They're the contender right now. We obviously know SGA is the number one. J Will is the number two. Is Cat better than J Will? Who would you rather have?
You are asking the resident Cat
Yep.
propagandist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Cat. I'm sorry. I got to take Cat. Yeah. I watched Jalen Williams come up real short in the playoffs, and he came up big when they needed him. And then, look, I do believe that the two-way wing is the most valuable player in basketball, and he does defend, and he plays both sides of the court. But I don't think that there's enough difference. When I think about wing basketball players, I don't think there's enough difference between Jalen Williams and the next best wing for me to take him over Karl-Anthony Towns, because I do think there's a pretty big gap in terms of big men between Cat and the next best big.
Yeah, I honestly was not expecting that. Like I thought I
podcasted, baby.
Like I could have sworn I said, I'm gonna ask him this question. I know what he's gonna say. I'm gonna know like where to go from there. So I'm surprised at that. But like to me, it's like Jay Will, if SGA is not there or whatever's going, he can still go out and get you 25. 100%. But safe to say they're in the same tier. Like you may have,
I think so. Both all NBA players.
Like you may have Cat better, but I think like they're in the same tier. Let's go to Minnesota. Who would you rather have?
You know who I'd rather have. Give me 32 every day. We even got to go into that. 32.
We even got to go into that. So if you go over to Denver, Jamal Murray. Obviously,
I want Cat.
You want Cat, and let's go to the East. If you look at Cleveland, who's their number two? Evan Mobley, or I think Cleveland would like Evan Mobley to be their number two. I don't think he's making that leap this year. It's still early, but I don't think he's making that leap. Who would you rather have, Evan Mobley or Cat?
That is a stylistic question. I think Evan Mobley will never in his life be the offensive basketball player that Karl-Anthony Towns is. And I know that Karl-Anthony Towns will never in his life be the defensive basketball player that Evan Mobley is. I think I'm going to take the All-NBA player in Cat, but I do like I like Evan Mobley, but I will take Cat over him. Again, I am the resident Karl-Anthony Towns propaganda agent. So,
but I know you can still be objective. Like,
100%.
So, like, you look at the East, like any other for just for fun, we have like Detroit, like they're number one right now. To me, with Detroit, it's scheduled. Like, if you look at their schedule, like I see fans, look at Detroit, they're 12-2, they won 9, and I'm like, go look at their schedule. Like just go look at who they played. So, but I think Jalen Duren's having a good season.
Absolutely,
he's having a really good season. But obviously, you would still rather have Cat.
Yeah.
And then, like, let's say we go to the Pacers, right? That to me, it gets interesting.
Siakam is really good.
That's where it gets interesting. I don't think Siakam is as explosive as Cat as far as the production, but he's steady. So I think like with Siakam, that's when you're kind of like, So with Siakam and Cat, who are you on the Knicks? On the Knicks, who are you taking?
So
as a power forward,
I think that's a discussion specifically because like if we're talking about Karl Anthony Towns, the center, I'm taking Karl Anthony Towns over Pascal Siakam. But when you start talking about playing Cat more full time at the four, that's when it becomes a little more of a conversation because Karl Anthony Towns, I think, loses a lot of what makes him great when he plays the four because he's getting a defender who is smaller than him, so he doesn't have the speed over him. And then on top of that, what teams are doing when they put a small on Cat. Cat does this thing that Carmelo Anthony used to do, which he uses that arm to swipe down and like to do illegal hooks. You get away with that when the guy is your size. When they're putting smaller guys on you, you don't get away with it, and that's why you're seeing Karl Anthony Towns just getting from I'm sorry. That's when you're seeing Karl Anthony Towns getting those offensive fouls that he wouldn't get the game before because the center was on him, right? Like when they had Khalil Ware on him, he was doing the same shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't much different. It's just that Khalil Ware's the same size. When there's a guy 40, 50 pounds lighter than him, then Cat gets into those offensive fouls. I don't want to get too much down a rabbit hole here, but I would still probably lean Karl Towns because of the versatility, if we're talking specifically about the basketball player. But Pascal Siakam is a better power forward than Karl Anthony Towns is at the four.
And
So
that's why I said at power forward. Because
yeah,
I knew like if you add the center stuff in it, then like, but what about Houston? So
nah, I'm taking both Sengun and whoever your number two is, whether it's Durant or Sengun.
yeah,
Durant, I don't know, man. Durant's old. But as
yeah,
far as like for this season, yeah, if you're talking about one season, do I want Durant or do I want Karl Towns? I gotta go with the all-time great, man. I've
yeah.
never been a Kevin Durant hater, by the way, but yeah, give me both of their guys over Karl Towns for
Yeah, I
sure.
think like that situation in Houston, like it's interesting. Like you look at Durant, he's not like the perimeter game. Like you can tell like he's kind of missed a step a little bit. Like I'm watching like some of the games. I haven't watched a ton of them, but from what I'm watched, I'm like I'm waiting for Durant to jack up some threes for him to get busy, and like he's having a tough go at it. Like he's having to work like for his points over there. So one other guy, they're not contenders. They're not contenders. But I remember you used to talk about this guy a lot. Devin Booker. Is Devin Booker a one or is he a two?
Damn,
He's
bro. That's a good one. I
yeah.
think Devin Booker is a one. I think that
Mm,
because Devin Booker, the Suns went from the SUNS Suns to the SONS Suns, that because the roster is so bad, they're getting sunned a lot. So I think people are starting to change their perception of Devin Booker. But I remember Devin Booker being the best player on a 64 win team, right? And they got sunned by Jalen Brunson
yeah.
and the Dallas Mavericks. But I do think, I don't know, man, Devin Booker. If you told me if I could have Devin Booker over or Karl Towns, I'm taking Devin Booker easily.
Yeah.
And I love Karl Anthony Towns, but when you talk about Devin Booker versus any of the guys that we listed, maybe except for maybe Sengun, because Sengun is very special and he's very young. But yeah, I'm taking Devin Booker over Jaylen Brown. I'm taking him over just about any number two in the league except for LeBron James, is what I would
Yeah.
say.
So like that's the thing. Like I think like a lot of people are getting on Booker, but there's like a lot of context missing with that team. Like if you go back and you watch the first game that Jalen Green came back, this dude was lighting it up, and like Devin Booker actually had like some breathing room to work, and then the dude hurts his hamstring. I think he's supposed to be out for like 2 months or
Something like
whatever it
that.
is. He's going to be out for a while. And then you kind of touched on the next guy I was going to go to, um, the Lakers. Obviously LeBron is the two, Austin Reeves is the three. So right now, today, you would take LeBron over Cat, right, as a number two,
It's
easily.
LeBron James.
Yeah. So I say this with his sciatica or whatever he has going on with his back.
Back
Like,
tonight.
yeah, what time they're probably playing right now. Blood. For those that don't know, it's more than just Mensa and I on the show. We do have our buddy on the ones and twos in the background. Jay, man, if you could let us know, like, what are the lines for 3+3s for Austin Reeves? Like, I'm curious how like the lines change with LeBron being back. I got my phone right here, so I may have to, hit up a little parlay. But you get what I'm saying. Like, we went through all these players and through all these number twos, we kept saying, I'll take Cat, I'll take Cat, I'll take Cat. But the problem is, I think like a lot of fans look at Cat as a number one. It's like he's not a number one. You have to judge him as a number two. And I think like a lot of fans are not judging him as a number two. Like, you look at the season he had last year, arguably his best season. Arguably his best season. And you look at, I don't have the numbers in front of me, I can get them, but like he is playing a little bit differently this year. And like what I'm liking what I'm seeing. Oh, so he said we're not going to shout them out because they're not giving us any bread, but there's a particular sports book that has minus 160 for 3+3s for Austin Reeves. Man, I might hop in on that. Yeah, I'm gonna hop in on that. But
You want to build a parlay live?
Tune in to the Two-Way Talk podcast with Mensa and Bully. Join the boys as they discuss all the tri-state sports: Knicks, Yankees, Mets, Jets, NBA, NCAA, and more. The boys will also dive into local news and everything that matters to you. The Two-Way podcast presented by Project Arc is your home for everything from sports, the culture, local news, and everything in between. Always be sure to follow Project Arc for more updates.